Hey, so I want to share something with y'all. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now that is Psalm 23 by King David. And most of us know, what I'm saying, this psalm. But something just really stood out to me. And that was on the second part of the poem or the song or psalm. It says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? And something about that, I guess, just something about that really stood out. So I'm like, the shadow of death. Because he didn't say the valley of death. He said the shadow of death, right? And so that got me to looking up the etymology of the word shadow or what shadow means. I was going to the etymology, so let's go to that. It says shadow traces back to Old English shadow and scadwion. These stem from the Proto-Germanic skadwas and ultimately the Proto-Indo-European root scot, meaning darkness or scoped. I don't know how to say it. But what stood out to me was what they were saying about the meaning of shadow. And it says, a shadow is a dark area or shape cast upon a surface when an object blocks a light source, Metaphorically, it refers to partial darkness, a constant companion, a trace, or an ominous lingering influence. Physical meaning, light blockage. The specific dark outline created when an opaque object interrupts light rays. Shade, a broader area of reduced illumination caused by an object blocking the sun. Okay, metaphorical and figurative meaning. Inseparable companion, someone who follows another person closely or secretly. An example, a detective or a trainee. Lingering threat, an impending or negative presence, such as living in the shadow of war. Remnant, a faded vestige of something that has passed. In Jungian psychology, it says, coined by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, the shadow refers to the unconscious part of the personality. It contains the repressed, suppressed, or unaccepted parts of the ego, often including traits like anger, jealousy, or hidden desires that a person prefers to ignore. Exploring this aspect of the self is a common focus in psychology and personal growth. You can learn more on the Society of Analytical Psychology. And it says professional and political usage, mentorship. To shadow someone means to follow an experienced professional throughout their workday to learn the ropes of a job. In government, in Commonwealth countries like the UK, the shadow cabinet consists of members of the main opposition party who act as counterparts to the actual government ministers. Now, something about shadow, right? Just like I said, it was just coming, it was just jumping at me. And it says, shadow is to shade as meadow is to mead. says skadu, again, shade, the effective interception of sunlight, dark image cast by someone or something when interposed between an object and a source of light, oblique cases, to thee, from thee, of thee, in thee. And it's like when somebody says like someone is trying to throw shade, someone is shading you, and I had this vision where I was looking at the sun and someone was blocking the sun and they were like staring like right at me and they were like smiling like like on a movie, like when a girl is like tanning or something and a dude comes up and he's just like, and you're like, can you please get out of the sun? And that's how this was for me. It was like, can you move? And they were just like, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know whether to take it as a negative or a positive because I was trying to connect with the sun. You know what I'm saying? And they were just in my way. They would not move. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like interpretation is everything. And I feel like, what God was trying to show me is that sometimes it's not even the actual thing that will scare us, right? But the shadow thereof. And the shadow could be in opposition. Like it could be shade, right? But also in the times when you're hot, in the days in which it's like all you wish for was the shade, was the breeze. So I feel like, perception is everything. And how we interpret things is how we see the world and we receive the world and how we respond to it or react to it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And so, I'm just challenging myself and us all to like, even when we feel like it's shade, to like have a better response. You know what I'm saying? To be classier, more tactful. You know what I'm saying? To thank God. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is legitly shade. Thank God. Like they say, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So thank God. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the situation, we have to see it as a blessing. Because sometimes that's all it is. It's a shadow. It's shade. And you're going to get through it. You're going to walk through that valley. And you're going to make it to the mountaintop. I love you. God bless. Peace. Oh, again, that was Psalm 23. Okay. Love you. And if you see this on YouTube, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right.